Maquette is a game all about perspective. Its central location, a crimson-topped dome surrounded by constantly changing structures, is nested within a larger version of itself, much like a Russian doll. You start in a version of the world that is scaled correctly to your height, but inside the dome lies a miniaturized version of that same environment. Look up and you'll notice that you are in fact inhabiting a smaller version of that same location within a far larger replica. A dome within a dome within a dome. A digitized MC Escher drawing. Infinite, yet surprisingly confined. At the start of the game, a huge red cube blocks your path to a house outside of the dome. To move it, you simply walk up to the smaller model, locate the cube, and pick up its tiny counterpart, placing it down where it won't get in your way. This change is then reflected across all recursions of the dome, allowing you to pass freely and explore the next location. This concept of actions reflecting recursively serves as Maquette's central puzzle mechanic, and it's a truly mesmerizing thing to play around with. It facilitates some wonderful aha moments, such as when it dawns on you that objects can also be scaled down by placing them outside of the dome before picking up their smaller counterparts from within the miniature model. The game is at its best when it doubles down on this core mechanic and throws in additional twists to keep you guessing. Sometimes a section is so well implemented, so smartly designed, that Maquette feels comparable to puzzle royalty, such as The Witness or Myst. But then, no, I've just thrown that gem over a wall, and I wasn't meant to be able to do that. Now I'm locked in this area and I have to reload a previous save. Oh well, at least that, okay, no, the solution to this other puzzle was something completely out of left field. And that object that's been kicking around for ages actually has no purpose for this current puzzle whatsoever, and serves as literally nothing other than a pointless distraction. To put it simply, there's a disappointing ebb and flow to Maquette, with moments of pure brilliance spoiled by game-breaking glitches or incomprehensible solutions. The Witness is an interesting comparison to make, especially considering Maquette's art style makes the two appear initially quite similar. Whereas The Witness is finely polished to the point where every single puzzle in the game serves as a tutorial for the next one, where the game's singular mechanic never changes despite the sheer amount of layers that are folded onto it as you progress across its island, Maquette never really gives any of its ideas much room to breathe. Things are thrown away before they are ever truly taught, and the game relies on trial and error a little more than I would have liked it to. This may be due to the fact that Maquette is sort of a game of two halves, as much a narrative-driven experience than it is a traditional puzzle game. Maquette revolves around the relationship of a young couple, Kenzie and Michael, portrayed by real-life celebrity partners Bryce Dallas Howard and her husband Seth Gable. Maquette begins with Kenzie uncovering an old sketchbook filled with drawings and paintings that the couple doodled together in the early days of their relationship. These drawings serve as the context for the fantastical locations that surround Maquette's Crimson Dome, with the structures working as hazy representations of key moments from their relationship. Upon completing puzzles, the player is rewarded with a small snippet of dialogue, their relationship steadily unfolding as you progress.
Hey, sorry, do you mind if I sit here while I wait for my coffee?
Yeah, knock yourself out.
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry, it only spilled a
I'm
little.
such a klutz. Ugh. Is your sketchbook okay?
Yeah, unscathed. It's just doodles anyway.
Can I see it?
Oh,
this is a cool castle.
Thanks.
Perspective, scale, and environmental design are utilised by the game to reflect the emotional state of Kenzie and Michael at different stages within the story, with vibrant fantasy castles and charming fairgrounds replaced with quiet terraced houses and sleepy log cabins as things begin to take a turn. Scale, in particular, is used to great effect. Kenzie makes a comment early on in the story about her worldview feeling small before she met Michael, and how being with him grants her a new, wait for it, perspective. Yeah, it's cliche, but it works surprisingly well, thanks primarily to how Maquette can present effectively the same visual twice, but have it mean two completely different things depending on the stage of the narrative. In the throes of love, the world feeling bigger than before feels exciting and fresh, but following an argument, huge structures feel menacing and intimidating instead. It helps that Maquette's audio design is superb, with the game's larger recursion featuring a chilling wind and amplified echoes as you slowly walk towards your next towering objective. In general, the game's audio is a particular highlight, with music playing after key narrative moments that help reinforce the tone. These full songs, complete with lyrics, are dreamy and soft and help give Maquette an indie film vibe that I really enjoyed. While we're on the subject of sound, the quality of Maquette's voice acting is varied. Considering it's the main way the narrative is delivered to the player, apart from some writing that appears on walls from Kenzie's perspective, the delivery can feel a little stilted. I guess it's because there's not a lot of it, and as a result it makes its flaws a little more noticeable. But saying that, personally I still found the delivery to be generally warm and quite genuine. I will confess, I have a real soft spot for romantic storylines. I like to be invested in relationships, and I think Maquette does a great job of representing a fairly nice one, charting its ups and downs and memorable moments in a way that feels grounded and relatable. Look, I'm soppy, I like soppy things, I cry at the most middling rom-coms you've ever seen, and maybe that's what appealed to me about this. I cared for these characters despite the relatively fleeting glance I was given of their time together. Slight spoilers, although I don't really think it'll affect your enjoyment of Maquette, but just in case there's time codes in the video description, I'll give you a second to skip ahead. Still here? Cool. So Kenzie and Michael don't work out. They're not right for one another, and in the game's third act, they go their separate ways. They have, by all accounts, an unremarkable relationship. They fall in love quickly, but realise after some time together they're not that compatible. So they argue and they break up. I don't want this to sound like a negative observation. Relationships are so scarcely represented in this medium that seeing such a mundane portrayal of one feels quite nice. It may be by the numbers, but we've all lived this story. We've all met someone, fallen for them, planned our lives, and then said goodbye. The world continues to turn, and the only thing we're left with is the memories that were made together along the way. It doesn't have to be some big, dramatic tale for the ages. Two people are in each other's lives one day, then are total strangers the next. We move on. It's just part of life. It's a pleasantly simple story presented within a whimsical world, and it's a nice juxtaposition, and I think it ultimately works in the game's favour. So, with all that said, what is Maquette? Well, I suppose it's a few different things. It's a visually stunning puzzle game with a unique recursive mechanic that is at times fabulous, but frequently frustrating. It's also a narrative-driven experience about an unremarkable relationship that is genuinely relatable and filled with warmth. It's beautiful while it lasts. It's short but sweet. It's a game about perspective. To peer at it too close exposes the cracks that lie upon its surface, but from far away, gosh, what a lovely little thing to experience while it lasts. So I do recommend this, but I would encourage everyone watching to seek out other writing about the game to see if it's for you. There's plenty of criticisms leveraged towards Maquette, most of it fair and quite understandable, so don't just take my word for it. I liked it, it appealed to me in a number of very specific ways. For many it may seem saccharine or even uninteresting, so yeah, shop around. See what you make of it. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please do like this video and subscribe to the channel, it really helps me out. I have new videos on this channel every Sunday at 4 PM, so make sure you stick around. I do things about indie games and other bits and pieces. Thank you for watching, I hope you stay safe, and I will see you soon.